Thank you for joining us at the 2021 Next Steps to Your Future webinar series. All registered participants will receive an email when the recordings and resources have been posted to the site. Today, we'd like to welcome Hillary Hartling with her presentation, Personal Brand, How Best to Present Yourself to the World and Stand Out from the Crowd.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you guys could come today, and I'm so excited to be here. I am a Hawaii girl at heart, moved there when I was in elementary school and stayed all the way through college and a little bit past, so I'm happy to be back doing something for Hawaii students. So today we're talking all about your personal brand, so let's dive in, and I'm going to first start by telling you just a little bit more about me. I'm Hillary. I am a brand strategist for both personal brands and modern entrepreneurs who have their own businesses. And my mission is really helping to build out personal brands, giving people the clarity and confidence to position their work and their life for ultimate fulfillment and success. And just a little bit about me, I call this my street cred slide. That's me with WALL-E from Pixar at an NBA Finals game when the Lakers were playing. This was years ago, but so much fun. WALL-E was actually an actual robot that I actually took to the event as a participant, which was so fun. So I spent 15 years branding and marketing at Disney, at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, working on Disney films, Pixar, Marvel, Touchstone, and DreamWorks. So these were global entertainment brands. I worked on over 250 film releases, 70 of which had #1 opening box office weekends, which were the measuring stick for success in the film industry. I was part of launching multi-million and billion-dollar franchises for Walt Disney. So if you think of Toy Story or Cars or Pirates of the Caribbean, Frozen, High School Musical, all that good stuff. And I also taught entertainment marketing at the American Film Institute. Over the years, I've done brand partnerships with so many different kinds of other brands. We have to understand where the goals are for each of the brands so you can align and create win-win opportunities. So partnering with NFL, Olympics, NBA, every broadcast and cable TV network out there in existence. So much fun. And I've been featured as a brand strategy expert for entrepreneurs in a lot of different podcasts and virtual summits and things like that. And that's where I'm spending most of my time today. So now I do it for entrepreneurs and people starting their businesses, but also for people really looking to understand how to build a personal brand to create more success for themselves. So that's what we're doing today. So just some fun facts about me. I now live in California with an ocean view. I did graduate from University of Hawaii at Manoa with a business degree. I went there on a dance scholarship. I was a UH Rainbow dancer. I got my master's in Boston at a global marketing degree. I'm a dog mom to this Cody cute golden retriever right there you see in that picture. And then some of the things that inspire me, and the reason I put this in here is I really do feel like that the work that you do should inspire you, but I draw my inspiration from so many sources to help people build brands. One of them is great movies, which is why I spent so many years in the movie industry. One is traveling. Another is feng shui, the sort of the energy around you, live music, and ocean views. So that's just a little bit about me to get us started today. And here's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about what is a personal brand and how to begin developing yours. We're going to go through how to craft some personal brand keywords for your own success, how to be authentic but also know your audience, creating a personal mission statement, and crafting your brand vision. So if you have questions at any point, please feel free to chime in. I will glance at the chat box, but also know there will be a lot of time at the end where we can answer questions. So let's dive in. Okay, so what is a personal brand? One thing we have to know to start is that we all have a personal brand, whether we're aware of it or not. It is something that's out there because it has to do with what other people think of you and the perception that you're creating in the world, the impression that you're leaving. So a lot of times when I say the word just brand, you might think of logos like Nike or the Apple or Mickey Mouse for Disney. So in business, companies need something like this. It's an identifiable mark or logo in order to distinguish themselves from competitors, to represent what they stand for. But a brand in and of itself is not just a logo. It's the full experience that a company provides. It's the perception and built expectations a company's target audience has. And it's how people feel every single time they interact with that business. And I bring this up because this is how businesses look at it, but you can also look at it the very same way when you're building your personal brand. Your personal brand is who you are. It's how you present and position yourself. It's how other people perceive you. It's the experiences people have every single time they interact with you. And it's how you make people feel. So you can leave your personal brand up to chance, or you can find out how to create a successful personal brand that you can leverage to help you achieve your goals. So that's what we're doing here today. We're figuring out how to build that personal brand so that we can have even more success in what we want to do. So a successful personal brand is clearly defined and very intentional, right? It's successful when you know who you are and you can articulate that. You know what you stand for. You've clearly defined your mission and your vision and your values, and we'll go into some of that. You know your strengths, so what you're good at, and also how you're different than other people. You've found your voice and you use it. You use it to your advantage. And you understand that you yourself can offer up something that nobody else can because you're unique. So you and your perspective is something that is valuable and should be shared. And so that's part of your personal brand. So this is how you can start developing your personal brand. There's some questions you can ask yourself to start. So I would write these questions down. I know you'll also have access to a replay of this presentation, but this is like really good if you have time to sit and just kind of journal about this. If you think about what are you currently known for, right? What do people know you for right now? And after you've done that, think about what do you want to be known for? Because you can change, you can rebrand yourself whenever you want to. Also, if you lean into writing down, and some people have taken like strengths finders tests and things like that, but you know in your heart, like, what are some of your greatest strengths? And what can you do better than most people? It might come really easy to you, but for other people, it's not that easy. These are good things to kind of map out so you know more about yourself and you know what makes you really unique, but also you know what you're striving for. And so you can leverage your strengths and leverage what you do really well into what you want to be known for. So if you start with these questions, you're going to start developing what your personal brand is going to be in the world. Then you get to choose, right? So when you're building your personal brand, it is literally all up to you. It's all about you. And when you're in transition, it's a wonderful time to evaluate and decide who you want to be, right? So if you're going from high school to college, it's such a wonderful time to really figure out who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for? What am I going after? And am I showing up in a way that helps serve that? Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this and we're going to start building out what your personal brand is here on this next slide. We're going to create some personal brand keywords around what success means for you. So we're going to choose 3 words to describe who you want to be. So let me explain this a little bit more. Think about just how you show up and what you're known for. You might actually have words that people say to you all the time, by the way, right? Maybe someone always calls you cheerful or, oh my gosh, you're the friendliest person. You get to now choose what 3 words you want to have represent what you want to be known for and how you're going to show up sort of like on a daily basis. So these are just some ideas, right? You could be enthusiastic, collaborative, friendly. You could be smart, a leader, empathetic, strong, inspiring, or helpful. You could be hardworking, quirky, and happy, right? It's whatever combination of words you feel like describes you best and is the things that you want to be known for moving forward. And now when we get into this next section, I'm going to talk about it in a way where these can help you really define success too. But like, here's where we start with this exercise. If I just put up a list of words, it doesn't mean you have to choose anything on here, but this will just give your juices flowing to say like, oh, here's some words. What words might describe me? And I would just write down a laundry list of all the words that kind of speak to you. And then you want to cull it down. You want to get it down to the 3 words, right? We say 3 words because if we have a list of 10 or 20 words, it's really difficult to kind of measure how you're showing up like that all the time. And you'll notice the words you gravitate to. Sometimes you have, if you have a list of 10 to start, for instance, you might have 5 of them that really are kind of similar. So pick the word that speaks the loudest to you and make that one of your words, okay? Now, a little tip to remember your words and really stay connected with them is once you have your 3 words, go into your phone and create a new alarm. And it has a thing you can type in words as a label on your alarm. So write your 3 keywords in there and you set the alarm to go off at the same time every single day. And this becomes your daily reminder of who you're choosing to be. So when it goes off, you can say like, okay, holy moly, have I been happy today? Have I been inspiring today? Whatever your 3 words are, you can kind of check in with yourself and see, is this how I'm showing up in the world? Or is this an indication that I need to change my 3 words because maybe the ones I chose, they were fine, but maybe those aren't the best words. So you can always change it too. Okay, so I want to also, beyond the 3 words, I want you to add one more word that's going to define who you need to be in order to be successful. So before we do that, we want to first define what success means to you because it's going to mean something different to every person. And in defining success, this definition is going to definitely evolve over time. It will change over time. But if you're a graduating senior heading off to college, consider this. What would success look like to you at this time next year? So you've gotten a year of college done. Or if you're not going to college, like if you're taking a year to work or if you're taking a year to travel, like what does success look like at the end of this time next year? What would you have accomplished? What would you have gained? How would you feel? These are another good things to kind of just like really brainstorm and journal on. But like, for example, these are just some ideas, right? Maybe success to you is being on the honors GPA list every semester in your first year of college. Maybe it's that you actually chose a major that you're passionate about by the end of your first year. Maybe you felt like you spent your time and your energy well, and you were like fully experiencing every single facet of college life, and you love that. Or it's making new friends, or it's creating connections with the right mentors to help you go further in what you actually want to achieve. So you define what is it that would make you feel successful at this time next year. Now, knowing what that is, you're going to say, what is the one word that describes who I need to be to help me make that possible? So in order to have that success at the end of next year or at the end of this time next year, who do you need to be? Oftentimes, it's a quality that you might want to improve or grow, right? Maybe you need to be bolder. Maybe you need to be more visible. Maybe you need to be more collaborative or social, whatever it is. Like you decide what that thing is. But once you define success, say, who do I need to be to create that success? And that begins building a personal brand, because if you stay attuned to that, you show up that way, you're working towards your goal, and people become known for the thing that you really want to create. Okay? Then let's actually go into understanding that your personal brand is just being really authentic. You want to be who you are, but you also want to know who your audience is. So having a personal brand does not actually mean it's all about you, because you're building a personal brand to create a positive perception or impression in the minds of your audience, in the minds of others. And your audience is made up of all different kinds of people at this point in your life, right? And it will change over time depending on what you decide to do. But you also want to really stay connected with why even bother building a personal brand, right? It's because you want to leave a good impression. It's because you want to build that positive reputation so people want to be around you, be in relationship with you, work with you, offer you opportunities. It creates expectations for how you show up and what people can count on you for. And it also lets people know what you're best at. So they literally know to come to you for this thing that you are super good at. That's why we build a personal brand. Now, in terms of being authentic, you want to define who you are, what you stand for, how you want to show up, but you always want to be you, right? And if you change this definition of who you want to be every 5 minutes, people won't know what to expect. So doing this intentionally and actually sticking with it is actually in your favor, right? And you can alter your personal brand slightly based on knowing who your audience is at that moment, where you can lean into certain strengths versus another strength based on who you're talking to. And the other thing to consider here too is, like, if you ever feel like you're putting on a persona, sometimes this happens on social media, by the way. If you feel like you're being someone else and you're trying to create a brand that's not really you, that's when you need to kind of stop, reassess, right? Because your personal brand should feel like completely real and completely natural and all you. That's what it's for. It's just you being you, and that's the bright light in the world. That's the unique thing about your personal brand, is the literal fact that it's you doing it. Okay? So knowing your audience, this is going to continue to change over time, like I mentioned, but like if we're thinking about at college, right? You have professors, you have peers and friends, you might have a significant other, sports teams, clubs, sororities, fraternities, or maybe like work or an internship. So you have all different kinds of audiences, and you want to always keep your audience top of mind. So for example, you probably, you clearly would speak differently to one of your siblings than you would to one of your best friends. You would talk differently to one of your best friends than you would to one of your teachers, right? You alter kind of your personality traits that you bring forward. So the thing you want to understand here is that you want to always be you, but you want to know your audience and really lean into what's going to work best to create success when you're talking to that person. That's how you leverage your personal brand. And then questions to consider to continue growing into what this personal brand is going to be for you is, what should people expect every time they interact with you, right? What should they expect? And how do you want to make people feel? There's a quote that says, people don't remember what you say, people don't remember what you do, but they always remember how you made them feel, right? And your personal brand is about making people feel a certain way. And it's up to you to create that. So what kinds of relationships do you want to build that's going to help lead to your success, help you achieve your goals, help you to lead the life that you want to lead? So building a personal brand is super fun. Okay, so now let's talk about crafting your personal mission statement. So I'm going to give you examples of both a business mission and a personal brand mission, right? Because businesses do it a certain way, and I want you to see kind of what ingredients go into creating that. And then we'll build your personal mission, and you don't actually have to know what kind of work you're going to be doing in order to create a personal mission statement. So I'll give you examples of both. So let's toggle over there. So business brands. So when I work with entrepreneurs, so I do that on a daily basis, we are creating a specific mission statement for their business that describes what they do, who they help, and the ultimate benefit that their audience receives. Those are the 3 ingredients that actually go into a mission statement. So here's what it looks like. These are for businesses. I help who do what so they can have this benefit. And that becomes a mission statement. So mine, for example, would be, I help modern entrepreneurs. What do? Build a clear and cohesive brand so they can call in their dream clients consistently. So that becomes a mission statement for my own business. Now, there's also some formulas that we'll get to for your personal mission, but I want to give you I think I have my own examples in here for personal mission, just to show you kind of, I have some others first and then I have mine. So Oprah Winfrey, her personal mission is to be a teacher and to be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be. So do you see how that's completely different than a business mission that we just looked at? This is literally leaning into her biggest calling and desire who she's doing it for, and what she feels like she can bring to the table, right? To be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be. Richard Branson's I really love because he has a main one as a personal mission, and then he actually leans into saying what he does in business specifically as well. So Richard Branson's to have fun in my journey through life and learn from my mistakes. That's his personal mission. In business, he says, know how to be a good leader and always try to bring out the best in people. And then in parentheses, this is how he does that. It's very simple. Listen to them, trust them, respect them, and let them have a go. So that's Richard Branson's. And then this last one, Amanda Steinberg, if you know the founder of dailyworth.com, you may not, but I liked hers, so I put it in here. To use my gifts of intelligence, charisma, and serial optimism to cultivate the self-worth of women around the world. And then she adds at the end a quote, which is actually a core value for her personal brand, which is, I believe financially empowered women are the key to world peace. So she basically gives like the reason why, like the bigger why behind her mission is because she believes empowered women are the key to world peace. And that's why she wants to help cultivate self-worth with women around the world. So these are personal missions, and you can have one too. Because then you know, once you state a personal mission, you can tell when opportunities come your way, is this aligned with my personal mission or is it not? Because if you really believe in your personal mission, you will only say yes to the things that are aligned with it that help you grow and help you actually achieve that mission on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. So let me show you, do I have mine next? Oh no, I think I had vision. Hold on. I have the formulas. Okay, vision is next. So for your personal brand mission, start here with these formulas. So you can take some of these phrases and then answer the end of them. See, and like play around with this a little bit to see what works for you, right? But you can say to be known for blank and fill in the blank. To always be blank. To cultivate my gifts or my strengths or my ability to blank. And just play around with this brainstorm. But here's some examples that I just made up off the top of my head, okay? To be known for my creativity, artistic eye, and dependability. That could be a personal mission. To always be kind and leave every interaction with a positive attitude. That can be a personal mission. To be known for taking risks and to cultivate my natural ability to bring people together, right? That could be a personal mission. So yours can be whatever you want it to be, but think about also when we talked about what is your biggest strength? What are people always asking you? Why do people come to you, right? What are you already known for? If you like that thing, lean into that and see if you can pull that into your personal mission. And then we round this out with looking at your vision, which is a little bit longer out, okay? So your vision is the direction you're headed. So if your mission is sort of how you're showing up on a daily basis and what you're focused on with goals, your vision is that loftier goal further into the future that you're aiming for. It becomes sort of that North Star you're looking towards that keeps you on track. So what does that mean? Here's the timetable, right? We spoke about a goal earlier to help define your success within 1 year from now and who you need to be to make that happen. Your vision is typically to be 3 to 5 years in the future, which is actually perfect if you're headed off to college right now because you can craft your vision for where you want to be as you graduate from college in 4 years, right? So this could be the perfect time to craft your vision. So company visions, because I like to give these examples, it helps kind of see where you can go with this. Tesla's company vision is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. So that's the further out goal. That's what they're working towards. Sony's is to be a company that inspires and fulfills your curiosity. So it's very broad, but it's still specific. Facebook, their vision, to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. And then Amazon, this is the last example I pulled for companies. Our vision is to be Earth's most customer-centric company, to build a place where people can come to find and discover anything they might want to buy online. So Amazon's huge, as you know, but that is their literal vision statement. So if we were going to go into personal vision, not a company one, I pulled some of mine up. And let me take you through these. So I had one as I went to graduate school in Boston. There was a very specific goal I had in mind. And so I had a vision mapped for when I was leaving grad school and what I wanted to have happen next, right? So my personal vision for leaving grad school was to work in the marketing department of a major motion picture studio in Los Angeles, working alongside some of the greatest storytellers of our time. Right? So when I accomplish that vision, here's the cool part. You get to have another vision. You get to replace it with the next thing, and it can be further out. So then I decided, okay, now I'm working at Disney. Cool. What do I want to do at my time at Disney? What's my vision for what I want to create? So I crafted this: to over-deliver and excel in my marketing position, and to one day lead the whole department as the vice president of marketing, being a valuable contributor as a senior staff member. So then once I did that, holy moly, I get to craft another vision. So then I thought, I'm not going to be at Disney forever. I stayed for 15 years, but I'm not going to be here forever. What do I envision for when I leave Disney? What's next? What's that new vision that I can have? So mine was to start and grow my own business, leveraging my branding and marketing experience to help make an impact with people either growing personal brands or their own businesses. And that's what I'm doing now. So I have new visions happening all the time, because once you achieve them, boom, you get your next one. So those are personal visions. Now, when you're crafting your vision, I want you to keep these things in mind, right? You want to make your vision 3 to 5 years out from where you are right now, giving yourself a clear goal and when you're looking to achieve it. And if it needs to move and shift, it's totally fine, but you want to have a goal that you're aiming for, that vision you're aiming for. And then you can break down that vision into annual, quarterly, monthly. You can even go down to weekly and daily goals, right? That are aligned with that thing you're trying to achieve. You want to keep your vision handy so that you can see it as a daily reference, whether you put it on a Post-it note and put it on your laptop, or you write it on one of your notebooks so you see it every day. You want to keep it handy so you know what you're working towards. And you want to also, when you're crafting your vision statement, give yourself permission to dream really big, right? There's no reason why you are capable of anything. So if you have a really big dream and you're nervous to write that down, that probably means that's the dream you're supposed to go after, right? Nervousness and excitement is actually the same feeling in your body. So if you're feeling nervous about anything, just rename that as excitement and go for it. And then once you achieve it, this is what I was talking about before, is like, don't forget to dream your next dream, right? Craft your next biggest vision after one you've already created comes to reality. So that's about crafting your vision. So tips to consider. So this is what really keeps me connected with achieving both my mission, my personal mission, and my personal vision. There's 2 questions that I ask myself all the time in order to make course corrections as you go, because no one's perfect and no one expects you to be perfect. And you are, a work in progress for your entire life, really. But these are 2 questions that I find really powerful. So one is, what would you need to start doing to be more aligned with making your goals a reality? So what would you need to start doing? And then what would you need to stop doing in order to make your vision and your mission possible for you? So these are going to be different things for different people. But like an example could be, something I need to start doing to make my next vision possible is I need to start getting up every morning and blocking off time to write, because one of my visions is to be an author, right? So I need to actually get up every morning and start to write, because I'm not currently doing that. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not getting closer to making it happen. Something I might need to stop doing in order to make that same vision possible would be, binging a Netflix show when I have available time that I could be writing, right? So that's just an example from mine. So if you keep this handy and you actually ask yourself this, check in every once in a while. I'm like, man, what would I need to start doing right now to make this more possible for myself? What would I need to stop doing? It's powerful to ask yourself both questions. Then in summary, here's everything we covered today, right? We covered what your personal brand actually is and how to begin developing it. And we did that by choosing your 3 personal brand keywords. And a lot of the stuff I covered, right? I covered a lot of things in a short amount of time. So what you might want to do is go back to your notes or to this replay of this presentation and just sit with it and actually brainstorm all these things and see if you can get all these things down. Your 3 keywords, your 1 word that actually describes who you need to be successful. Understanding who your audience is right now. Who makes up your audience? Who are you interacting with all the time? Know who they are so you can leverage your biggest strengths when you're with them. We defined your personal mission statement and also crafted your vision. So all of these things are helping you develop a personal brand that you can be known for. And here's one more thing. So imagine, how do you actually express your personal brand? It's thinking about all the ways you interact with your audiences, with all the people in your life. So it's in person, it's over the phone or Zoom or FaceTime or whatever platform we're Bizaboo. I don't even know how to say it. Whatever platform we're on right now, via emails or text. And then a big one is obviously social media, right? Everything you do, everything you say, everything you post either adds or subtracts from your personal brand, taking you closer to reaching your goals or farther away. I actually call them brand deposits and brand withdrawals. And so you want to be on the more positive side, right? You want to be putting more deposits in. And so if you think about how you are presenting yourself in every way you interact with people, that's when you start to get more intentional about your personal brand and you're not leaving it up to chance. And just so you know too, I'm on a social media panel here in this community in a couple of weeks where we're talking about, okay, how do you now start intentionally building your personal brand on social media? So if you guys want to come to that, I think it's on June 29th. But that was it. That's everything in this presentation. This is how you can find me on Instagram. That's my website right there too. So if you want to stay in touch or ever reach out to me and ask me questions, I love it. Always in the DMs on Instagram, so feel free. But if anyone has any questions at all, I am happy to stick around and answer any. I don't know if there were any during the presentation or if you guys were just taking notes. Let's see. And you guys who are helping me moderate, I don't know if there's anything that came up. Do you have any suggestions for rebranding, even though you've posted things you may have regretted on social media? It's such a great question. So the good thing about social media is you can always delete something if you don't feel like if it's no longer aligned with who you want to be and it's something you regret putting up there, you can delete that. You can absolutely delete it. Now, if you feel like that thing that you posted really gave a big impression about who you are that you don't like, then I would say kind of intentionally going through some of these exercises and deciding what you do want to be known for and starting to post things really in alignment of who you want to be now and moving forward. But I would definitely say if there's something that you're not loving about some of your social feeds that you regret, I would take it down now, because as you start looking for jobs and stuff, one of the first places employers go to look is they go and look on your social media feeds to say, is this person who is showing up in person, is this authentically the person that we're hiring, or are they someone else completely different on social media, right? Let me see. Hold on, I'm going back to make sure I'm not missing any of these questions. Do you have any tips for finding a goal? Yeah, I would say, what are you excited about? What excites you right now, right? If you're trying to find a goal to accomplish, I would also say start small, right? So that you have like a quick win, right? So if you say like, maybe your goal is to, I don't know, walk on the beach every day, because that centers you and focuses your mind. And maybe that helps you dream a little bigger to actually find your next goal. Maybe the goal you need to do right now is just like that commitment to say, hey, every single day I'm going to make sure to take a walk on the beach, because that's the space where I need to think about my goals. But I would say in general, if you're thinking about like life goals, it's really looking at a few things. Some of the things we talked about. What are some of your biggest strengths? What are the things you've really enjoyed doing up to this point? Anything, by the way, can be a career. You'd be surprised. What do people ask you all the time? What do they usually come to you for? And what gets you? I literally always tell all my clients, follow your excitement. If you're excited about it, it feels like that's almost like the universe nudging you in the right direction. So pay attention to what gets you excited. That's my first tip. Let me see. I can only see like portions of this. So hold on, I'm scrolling through. In regards to advertising, how would you stand out amongst the crowd? I mean, advertising is paid media. And so what that comes down to is finding the right placements, knowing who your audience is, and placing media in the right spaces, and also having the right creative message to hit that audience. So when I talk about knowing your audience, if you're doing advertising, that's the first thing you need to know is what audience are you going, who is your target audience? Who do you need to actually attract to buy this product or service or whatever it is? And you stand out by disrupting, by not doing it the same as everybody else, by telling a story that actually moves people, right? So there's so many ways to be successful in advertising. So if you have an even more specific question, Jacob, about the kind of advertising or what you're advertising, I'm also happy to answer that. But it starts with knowing your audience and having the right message to talk to them. Do you have any suggestions for rebranding, even though you've posted things? Oh, wait, that's the one. Hold on. You can. Oh, got it. You're answering that. I see. Got it. Here's the question. Here's the answer. I'm scrolling. What's the best way to know your audience? It depends on your goal too, right? The best way to know your audience is lean into who are the people. So in business, for instance, like for my own brand strategy business, I know my audience because it's the intersection of who I know needs this work and who I love to work with. It's the intersection of both, because I like to personally be inspired by the work I do. So I want to really love the people that I'm working with. That's what it means when you work with dream clients, right? Dream clients are people you absolutely adore working with, and you'd almost want to show up and do it for free because you love them so much. Hold on, let me just see. Okay, I don't think I see any more new questions. If there's any other questions, feel free to type them in the chat. And I think we're running on time, but I think we still have a few more minutes in case anyone is still typing. And then for yourself, I would say, your audience is always who's in front of you right now. But you can also choose, right? Like if you know a goal and you want to start surrounding yourself with more people who can help you on your path to reach that goal, you can be really intentional about who you're surrounding yourself with, right? They say you are the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? So if you're not being intentional with that, or if for some reason like you don't like some of the people you're hanging out with, well, then you want to get around some people you really love hanging out with, right? That can help you, can challenge you, can encourage you on your road to reaching your goals and finding out what it is that you really want to do. What do you think is the best way to present your personal brand in a scholarship essay? Tell a personal story. Stories are where it's at. Your personal brand is giving an inside look, a glimpse at who you are, how you think, and what you dream about creating in the world, right? And so I think, I mean, it can be so many things, but what I would do to start is just start writing down stories that you can remember from your life that have had a significant impact on building you to be the person you are today. That's a great place to start if you can brainstorm that, right? And you can say that, and then you can transition in terms of personal brand into what you want to be known for going forward, and that your personal mission in life is this, and craft that personal mission statement that we talked about. That's a beautiful thing to put in a college essay, a personal mission. You can call it that. So they know you've really intentionally thought about who you want to be and why you're a great choice for that school, right? I would also say in terms of that, knowing your audience is so key. And your audience, when you're writing your college essay or a scholarship essay, is who is on the other end reading it, right? Is it a college where they're known for, right? Every college is a brand too. Or if it's a scholarship group, they're known for something, right? They have goals, they have a purpose, they have a brand too. So understanding their brand and what they stand for, you can then craft an essay that aligns with their brand, but still says the story of you. Does that help? Let's see. How did you find your excitement with this role and career? Did you find it in college? Okay, here's the funny story about that. So went to UH, I got my business degree. And then I actually thought after that, okay, I need to get a real job. I moved to Seattle and I worked in this advertising agency for a while doing print media. But the clients that I was working with was like Boeing airplanes, Silicon Graphics International at the time, and I could not have been more bored. I was completely unexcited about working on those types of clients. But my experience, my knowledge was in business, branding, marketing, advertising. So I could brand or market or advertise anything, right? So I actually made a list. I was like, what do I love? And I didn't care if it sounded dumb at the time. I just wrote a list of everything I loved. Movies were always the top of the list. What got me most excited was movies. And I hadn't even considered until that point, until I made the list, that I could actually work in the movie business. I hadn't even thought of it because I just assumed, oh, I need to get a real job. But you can find the work that really gets you excited. And I think the thing I love about movies is that movies are an experience. Movies move people. I was working with some of the greatest storytellers and the best filmmakers and some of the greatest actors of all time with some of the biggest brands in the world. And I loved every minute, right? So from that point on at the advertising agency, and I decided movies, it was a little bit of a path to get there, but it was very intentional because I knew the vision. So because I knew what excited me, what I did was I actually went to graduate school in Boston for a 12-month intensive master's. And the entire time I was there, my entire apartment wall was papered with movie posters. Everyone I knew in grad school knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I declared my goal. I said, I want to work at a major motion picture studio. Everyone knew that. We had to do an internship at the end of our graduate degree. And I did it. I got one at DreamWorks in LA before I started working at Disney. And so when you know the goal, when you know what's so exciting, you can actually make it happen, right? If you work towards that every day. So, and if you're not sure yet, I would lean into all kinds of paths. Like let excitement lead you down multiple paths and see what really resonates with you. And that's going to make you a much happier person when you go out into the workforce and begin working. Any other questions? That was a great question. And ironically enough, my brother went to UCLA and was a film major. So I knew a lot more about the film industry through him, but I never considered going into it as a marketing person until after my college and after I worked for a while. So let's see. Okay, I don't see any other questions. And I think we're at our stopping time. But again, if you want to stay in touch with me, please find me on Instagram, and I'm happy to answer questions there too. It's totally fine.
Thank you so much, Hillary, for presenting. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this session. You guys will be receiving a weekly email on Mondays to let you know what the sessions are for the week. And you'll also see that recordings will be available on the site when you read that email. And we'll see you guys again on Thursday. Thank you so much.
Bye.